Hey YouTubers, welcome back to the channel. Today I decided to do another market moments video where I pick a few key stories to do with the market from the past week and summarize what has been going on with them. Today I thought we can talk about why Boris Johnson was definitely serious in his announcement yesterday. Let's see whether Nintendo has found a replacement for Mario, and then we can jump into the happiest place in the world and review the latest news from Disney. And let's see how the largest taxi company in the world changes gear towards scooters and bicycles. While you watch the intro, why not hit the subscribe button and don't forget to poke the like button, because I'm a little bit ticklish and everybody likes to be happy. So, first things first. Yesterday, Bojo unveiled his well thought out plan to get the UK back to normality. Now, it was clear to see Boris is really starting to take all this extremely seriously. Or it's the fact that he's now a dad, or maybe an Asian mother has just adopted him, because he actually spent the time before the announcement to find a comb and managed to style out his Asian side parting. However, as serious as he's taking this, his message was his trademarked wishy-washy message, where I managed to read a meme that summed it up pretty well. The lockdown is still on, but you can go outside, but don't go outside. Only work if you can work from home. If you can't work from home, then go to work, but only if you can avoid public transport. But if you can't avoid public transport, then get the bus. But essentially, what he was trying to say is that we're still in a lockdown, but the UK wants to slowly start opening up the economy by allowing businesses like construction and engineering companies to reopen if they can continue to exercise the social distancing measures at work and during the commute. Now comment below to let me know if you've been asked to go back to work. He also mentioned the schools and universities will not open until the 1st of June, and that even then it will still be a staggered approach in stages. Shops will also begin to reopen again on a phased approach from the 1st of June. And finally, the hospitality industry will start to reopen from around the 1st of July. However, he did also conclude by saying that all of these points are subject to change due to a lot of if factors. And that's based around the scientific advice on the data that they've been gathering on a daily basis. Now, at the end of the day, even though everything sounds a little bit unsure, the silver lining here is that the government is looking at ways to be hopeful for the economy to start getting back on its feet. On to our next story. If you were born around the same time as me, Apple only made computers, and Google wasn't even invented yet. The only thing that we could
I don't understand.
Oh, we've got Google going on there. And the only thing that we could really carry in our pockets, as Skinny Fit was not invented yet, was a gaming device called the Nintendo Game Boy. It had 8 bits of graphics and was full color if your spectrum of color only consisted of one shade of green and black. So obviously portable gaming has come a long way since then. And now we walk around with our smartphones, which are pretty much mini computers in our pockets. Nintendo initially started off as a playing card company over a century ago. However, they have managed to be innovative enough to still be considered as a household name in gaming industry today with the Nintendo Switch. Now, Nintendo announced a $3.3 billion profit, which is 41% more than what they made last year. This is the biggest increase in profits that they have seen in almost a decade. A lot of this has come down to the fact that the coronavirus has increased the time that parents have to spend trying to keep their kids occupied at home. Therefore, the sales of the Nintendo Switch jumped 34% compared to this time last year, even though the platform was released almost 3 years ago. This increase in sales was definitely a corona boom, as Nintendo even suffered production delays trying to keep up with the unexpected demand. Now, being stuck at home and using magical memes like this to decide where you'll be going this weekend, feel free to pause the video for a second and comment below to let me know where it says you'll be going. It's not just the console that has been seeing number crunching results. The users obviously need games as well to keep them occupied in their living room. This is where Nintendo has also managed to satisfy the desire of all homebound users dreaming of better times on the animal-filled pandemic-free island in the Nintendo world with their game Animal Crossing New Horizons, which Nintendo themselves described as being an escape to your personal island paradise. Now, Animal Crossing New Horizons became the fastest selling title ever sold on the Switch, but obviously this hasn't got anywhere near the amount of sales of Nintendo's beloved character Mario, who has been sold for over 30 years. But it is safe to say that Nintendo has hit the nail on the head on this captivating game that is driving the sales and profits for them. So much so that people are even paying $50 an hour for interior designers to design their island paradise. Now, as Nintendo designs 85% of their own games, and with the developers not being able to go into the office due to the corona pandemic, new releases and games are being delayed in the pipeline. And with software clearly being the key to Nintendo's success, they've even come out and said themselves they're predicting a fall in sales this year. Now, going from a digital island paradise to the happiest place in the world. But the happiest place in the world can only be dubbed that when people actually visit it. And since the 16th of March, Mickey has been self-isolating with Minnie and all the other Disney characters. And we are eagerly waiting to see if Mickey has been working out and looking more like Tarzan, or if he's just been eating loads and turned out looking like Pumbaa. But on a serious note, since Disney encompasses the media industry, experiences, retail, and even travel with their cruises, they end up being the largest entertainment company in the world. Disney almost becomes a test case for the economy post-COVID. From a world where the genie's power comes from people like Robin Williams and Will Smith, there is one wish no one asked for, and that was a $1.4 billion loss on its quarterly earnings. Obviously, Disney's parks and cruises had the largest hit, with a 58% drop in operating profits. And with Disney owning 80% of ESPN, and obviously no live sports, and the coronavirus bringing the apocalypse, where advertisers are just not spending much on TV ads because people are not buying as much. And then also Disney having to put multiple expensive blockbuster film productions on hold, as well as new movie releases such as Mulan. Regardless of all this, it's great to know that good things can still happen to balance the world out a bit. And when things go down, something also goes up. And that's where Disney streaming services, Disney Plus and Hulu, have boomed, bringing in $4.6 billion in sales. Disney Plus now has 54.5 million subscribers. Now, to put that into perspective, that's almost the whole population of England. However, just how the Marvel universe is all entwined, the same occurs for the Disney franchise. For instance, when the movie Mulan does not get released, that then has a domino effect on the Mulan toys, etc. Now, Disney has announced that they will open the Shanghai Disneyland today on May the 11th, but with temperature screenings, masks, and capping the capacity at 30%. But don't forget that Disneyland Shanghai closed its doors 2 months before the US and Paris Disneylands. But essentially, Disneyland reopening seems to be a good indicator that the economy is beginning to get back to normal. And now to move on to Uber having to halve the number of wheels to get around. For those that live or work in London, or have been to any major city in Europe or America, I'm sure you would have seen some e-scooters or bikes. Well, the red-looking ones, those are owned by Uber. And Uber has not been as successful with their two-wheeler business. However, they see a lot of potential in the market. Now, like most companies, Uber has definitely had a hit during the corona pandemic, with their gross bookings falling 80% and Uber having to axe 3,700 staff, as well as their CEO giving up his base salary for the rest of the year. But during these hard times, there are also great opportunities, especially when companies' share values are at bargain prices. Uber has clearly identified this and decided to lead a $170 million investment in Lime, which then slashes Lime's valuation from $2.4 billion down to just $510 million. Now, what is Lime? I'm sure most of you have come across Lime by now. They are a fairly young company, being about 3 years old and now operating in 120 cities across more than 30 countries. Lime was also the second fastest startup company to have reached the unicorn status. This is where a company reaches a valuation of $1 billion. The first fastest company was Bird, Lime's scooter nemesis. But with the COVID problems, Lime had to voluntarily suspend services in almost all of its locations, as well as lay off almost 20% of its staff. All this resulted in them having only around $60 million in cash left out of the $700 million that they had raised. Now, just a second ago, I did mention that Uber was also going through hard times. This is why the ride-sharing business has partnered with Alphabet, Google's parent company, and Bain Capital Ventures to invest the money in Lime. Uber already owned a small stake in Lime, but under this fundraise, it would get a significant increase in the control of the company Lime. But the main reason for this strategic move is so that Uber can palm off its not very profitable Jump branch of its company of e-scooters and bikes over to Lime and position themselves in a great position to buy out Lime at a set price in a few years. So those were my top picks from the market this week. If you enjoyed the video, leave a comment below of any other companies that you'd like me to report about in the next market moments. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you get a notification when my next video comes out. And also don't forget to like, share and comment. See you in the next video. Bye.